Hello, good afternoon, everybody. So regarding Marroneto, a little speech regarding the winery and then the vintage of 2016. Il Marroneto is exactly in the north side of Montalcino on an altitude of 420 meters. And especially in this moment of climate change, it's a big advantage to be there because every single day, even during the hottest day on summer, we have the beautiful thermic winds that arise from the north and gives the vineyard the opportunity to take some rest during the night and so refresh the vineyard every night. So that's probably one of the reasons of the freshness of the wine of Il Marroneto. All of the vineyards of Il Marroneto are in the north side of Montalcino with north exposition. And so it means that the winds that arrives take the vineyard frontally, not in some other ways. And also, as Eric was saying, the composition of the ground is basically 70% composed by sea sand. And as you know, sea sand is like a natural filter. So these are another things that helps the wine to have this freshness and also to be a little bit salty because the sand is like a filter. So when it rains, the rains just don't go away, but it's filtered by the sand and leaves in the top part of the ground all the nutriment. Another important thing for me is that we don't work the ground, so we have a beautiful grass all over the vineyard, and this helps a lot to keep low the temperature during the summer. It's like an opposition against the sun that hits very hard, especially in this moment. And instead, regarding our work inside of the winery, Il Marroneto is a really traditional winery. We still attach to the tradition. In fact, still today we don't have any control of temperature inside of the winery, any control of temperature to the barrels for fermentation. Our fermentation is a fast and natural fermentation, so we don't use any selected yeast, we don't use nutritive salt, we don't do pet de cuve, we don't do long maceration, so it's just fermented grape, nothing more than that. And the vinification is fast, 10 to 12 days. Sometimes can arrive till 14, but is not usual. After that, we separate immediately the wine from the skin, and so the wine is ready to go inside of the big barrel, just big barrel, for the long period of aging that for Il Marroneto generally goes between 40 and 44 months. And another interesting part is that some of this freshness of this wine comes also because thanks to this kind of fermentation, when we separate the wine from the skin, the wine still have to do the malolactic fermentation and some alcoholic fermentation. And generally, the wine does these two processes inside of the barrel during the process of aging. And so every year, for 2 or 3 years sometimes, the wine has the opportunity to start fermenting again during the spring for the malolactic and during the summer for the alcoholic fermentation. And so it basically refreshes itself. That's why after 44 months, the wine arrives and still seems a young and new wine because it had always the opportunity to move constantly. Regarding the 2016, of course, as Eric was saying, is a fantastic and amazing vintage, probably because the weather wasn't so perfect, and so the vineyard had the possibility to have that a little bit kind of pain that lets the plants make a little bit better grape. And that happens just when the weather is not totally perfect, so it's a little bit aggressive, but with a nice equilibrium. And so we had a beautiful harvest in October, I remember, on the 5th of October, and the results are like this.
Thank you very much.